Good evening and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Bernadine Singha. Good evening, Jamal.
Good evening, Bernadine. As Sri Lanka prepares to elect its 7th executive president tomorrow, we have a comprehensive list of news items lined up just for you. But before that, let's start off with a look at headlines.
Final preparation for the presidential elections underway. Polling to commence at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
කාටත් බලපෑම් කරන්න යන්න. අපි හැමෝටම කියනවානේ හවස 5 වෙනකන් ඡන්දේ දිනකම් බලන්න එපා පුළුවන් තරම් ඉක්මනට එන්න කියලා.
Companies claim that the wheat flour price has not been increased. Government reiterates that prices cannot be changed as and when anyone wishes to. Tri-forces and the police commend the service rendered by the president.
On to those stories in detail now. Several ceremonies were held yesterday and today to commend the service rendered by President Maithripala Sirisena.
The president arrived at the police department premises this morning and was warmly welcomed with police salutations. The ceremony was organized to commemorate the service rendered by the president on behalf of the police department. Acting IGP CD Vikramaratne and senior police officers were present.
I participated in a large number of ceremonies during the past 2 weeks. I believe it's a blessing I received during my tenure. The other fact is that the first election in this country was held in 1947. From that point onwards, no state leader has been unbiased during the elections. This election is a peaceful one. One reason for that is the president, who is the defense minister, is in charge of the defense ministry and the police. The minister in charge of peace and justice should act in an unbiased manner during elections. I honor the police department and the IGP. Especially, I was able to work with the police department for a short period of like 11 months. During that short period, we were able to tackle issues that we struggled with for over 25 to 30 years. Drugs, illicit liquor, and certain issues that were believed to surpass police powers. During the past few months, we were able to form laws, get them passed in the parliament, and to vest those powers with the police department. I am glad about that. It was essential to vest those powers with the police.
මම ඒ ගැන ඉතාමත් සතුටු වෙනවා. මේ පොලිසියට බලතල දීම ඉතාම අත්‍යවශ්‍ය දෙයක් විදිහටයි සලකන්නේ.
Meanwhile, a special ceremony was held in Colombo last evening to present the salutary tributes of the Army, Air Force, Navy and Armed Forces to the President. The President was felicitated for the services rendered during his tenure for strengthening the security forces and securing the dignity of the armed forces. The Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, the commanders of the three forces and security heads were also present. Meanwhile, all vice-chancellors of universities met President Maithripala Sirisena last afternoon and appreciated the work done by him during his tenure.
Finance Minister Mangala Samaraweera rejected reports citing wheat flour prices will be increased today.
Bakery owners were gearing up to increase their prices by 8 rupees and 50 cents as flour companies announced there would be a price increase.
We
called a top official of Prima and questioned if the prices have gone up. Then he responsibly said that the price of wheat flour has been increased by 8 rupees and with NBT added, the increase will sum up to 8 rupees and 10 or 15 cents. I informed all media organizations that we will be increasing the price of wheat flour from midnight tonight. I then called Prima again and asked if this is confirmed. He confirmed that the prices have increased and it will be in effect from today. We condemned the sudden decision made by Prima, so we had to make an announcement saying we increased the prices. We were going to increase the prices of bread by 5 rupees. Then the Prima officials called me around 1:30 and said that they have decided to not increase the prices of wheat flour. This is the third time these companies increased the prices of flour. They try to do this and burden the people all of a sudden at a decisive time like this.
Minister of Finance Mangala Samaraweera made these remarks.
Price of flour cannot be increased without the consent of the cabinet-appointed Cost of Living Committee and the Consumer Affairs Authority. If anyone increases the price of flour after midnight today, we will take strict legal action against them. I have sent a written complaint to the chairman of the Elections Commission as well.
Issuing a release, the Consumer Affairs Authority said that increasing the price of wheat flour without obtaining prior approval is illegal. The authority will be taking legal action against those who sell wheat flour at a higher price.
As the State Minister in charge, I responsibly state that the price of wheat flour will not increase tonight, tomorrow or in the near future. This is a false statement. The manner in which this is established and the intentions behind this is something beyond a conspiracy targeting the presidential election. When proposals are presented to increase the price, the Consumer Affairs Authority discusses this with the respective organizations, the people and the organizations representing the rights of the people, and then present it to the Cost of Living Committee. Then, the Cost of Living Committee consists of secretaries and permanent officials from the Finance Ministry, International Trade Ministry, Agricultural Ministry and several other ministries. The approval will be granted with the signature of the Chairman of the Consumer Affairs Authority once it receives the Cabinet approval. This can have a political aspect since it is American flour. We will investigate this. The prices won't increase. We will take unconditional action against those who implement this.
The police headquarters has announced that the State Intelligence Service or any arm of the Sri Lanka Police has not conducted any form of survey on the presidential election. A statement bearing the signature of the media spokesperson of police, SSP Ruwan Gunasekara, noted a decision was reached for the Criminal Investigations Department to conduct an inquiry into social media reports over an alleged survey.
The statement added social media reports claiming a special report was handed over to the President by the SIS is false. It adds social media reports suggest the alleged report was handed over to the President on the 5th of November 2019. The police headquarters stressed the State Intelligence Service or any arm of the Sri Lanka Police did not engage in or interfere with any form of political activity and did not conduct a survey on the presidential poll. Police headquarters emphasized that the Sri Lanka Police is determined to create an environment for a peaceful and free presidential election.
Several instances where presidential election laws being violated were reported.
Police arrested a man for the possession of defamatory posters from Madampe. Police said the suspect was in possession of posters and handbills which caused damage to the candidates contesting the presidential election. 3,850 posters and handbills were seized from a house in Madampe, Chilao by police following a complaint lodged earlier.
During this period of hiatus, police discovered 5,900 leaflets that included defamatory information against a particular political party in Asgiriya, Kandy yesterday. Police also arrested one suspect who was released on bail. We found another stock of defamatory posters in Madampe this morning. We arrested one suspect.
Madampe police asamedi ada udasana.
Meanwhile, 58 fake ballot papers were discovered inside a van used to transport ballot boxes in the Hambantota district. Police said the driver of the respective van was arrested. The van had arrived at the Hambantota Suchi National School and was due to transport ballot boxes to the Itta Demaliya polling station in the Mulgirikala electorate. Our correspondent said the stock of fake ballot papers were discovered near the driver's seat when the officers had entered the van to transport the ballot boxes. There were no markings in the fake ballot papers, while the papers stated that it was only for the use of informing the voters.
Chairman of the National Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, said the election officers at the polling station in Royal College, Colombo, who were hospitalized following food poisoning, can report to work as usual from tomorrow. The National Hospital said 51 election officers have been hospitalized.
This evening, Chairman of the Elections Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, and Commissioner General of the NEC, Saman Sri Ratnayaka, were accompanied by the Director of the National Hospital to look into the well-being of the hospitalized officials. The National Elections Chief said the officials were administered proper medicine and they are fit to report for duty tomorrow.
Welcome back to the news. We now cross over to News First's Azra Azan for a comprehensive update from across the island on the proceedings for the presidential election scheduled to be held tomorrow. Azra?
Thank you, Jaimal, and welcome to the election headquarters here at News First. The citizens of this country will take to the polling stations tomorrow to vote for their next president of Sri Lanka, and only 10 hours left for the most awaited presidential election. And we here at News First are ready and geared up to bring you the latest and the most accurate information as and when it happens. Let me remind you that the polls will start tomorrow at 7 in the morning and will go on till 5 p.m. in the evening. And like I said before, we here at News First at the election headquarters here, also at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana, will bring you the latest developments of the presidential election 2019. We have already dispatched our in-house reporters in several parts of the country and more than 200 provincial reporters to bring you the latest reports from several parts of the country. And as you can see, starting from the north to the south to the east and to the west, we have our reporters on location to bring you the details of the presidential election as and when it happens. We are also using the live digital transmission technology, also the Skype technology, to connect with our reporters on location so that our viewers here in Sri Lanka will have the first-hand experience of the presidential polls. And the broadcast we're starting tomorrow will continue for 3 days till we get the final result and till we elect the next Sri Lankan president. We have Tarusha Kumarasinghe from Chilau and Maud Razik from Nurelia and several other news reporters everywhere in the country to bring you the latest developments. Let me remind you once again that the polls will go on starting from 7 in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening, and we will be electing the 7th executive president of Sri Lanka. Now, with the election broadcast here, we also have another team set up in Stein Studios Ratmalana to bring you the final results of the presidential polls. And News First will always keep in mind to bring our viewers the most latest and the accurate information of the presidential election. We have our reporters in several parts of the country.
Begin at 7 a.m. tomorrow. All the eligible voters of our country will travel to their respective polling station and cast their vote until 5 p.m. in the evening. What is going to happen thereafter? Who is going to be the president of our country? All that will be decided based on the results that are going to be released after the presidential election voting concludes. The time frame for the presidential election voting concludes. Here at Stein Studios, we are joining you at a time where the final preparations are being made for the election telecast to be carried out. At this location where I'm standing right now, a political debate, a political discussion, an intellectual discussion will take place so that the general public viewing us will be updated about the previous trends of how the voting has happened and how the previous presidential elections have taken place. Once the results are out, the first official result is out, we at News First will be bringing you that through our first and fast election coverage happening at the Stein Studios. This is that location where our results will be announced. Now, for you to be updated, for you to be ahead, you have to be informed. And for that, you have to stay with News First. We bring you the latest through our first and fast election coverage here from Stein Studios in Ratmalana. And we will keep you updated about the 2019 presidential election where the president of our country will be elected.
Thank you, Chaturanga. Well, that is our plan at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana. When it comes to the election headquarters at News First, we will be using the live digital transmission technology, also the Skype technology to connect with our reporters outstation so that our viewers will have the first-hand experience. And we have our reporters dispatched in several parts of the country, like I mentioned before. Also, more than 200 provincial reporters that will bring you the latest developments of the presidential election. We have Tarusha Kumarasinghe from Chilau joining us and Sindhujan from Jaffna. Let me start with Tarusha. Tarusha, you're in Chilau. What is the situation like in Chilau?
Well, thank you, Azra, and very good evening indeed for all the viewers watching Primetime News on Election First. Now, the presidential elections are just hours away, and we here at News First as always, will report the facts and the figures precisely as we've been doing throughout the years. We will do so this year as well. We will report the facts and figures precisely to you. Now, currently I am in the Puttlam district. We've been, Team News First was here since morning, seeing how the preparations are being carried out for the voting that is to start at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Now, talking about the Puttlam district, at the presidential polls 2019, the Puttlam electoral division can be divided into 5 electorates, that is Puttlam, Anamaduwa, Vennapuwa, Nainamadama and Chilau. Now, the total number of people who are eligible to vote in all those electorates comes up to 599,042. That's right, 599,042 people will cast their vote tomorrow at 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. Tomorrow. Now, we here at News First will keep a close watch as to what will happen here in Puttlam district as well. Until further updates, it is Taurasi Kumar Singh reporting for News First from the Puttlam district. It's back to the studio.
Thank you, Tarasha, for bringing us the latest details from Chilau. And we have Judy Sindhujan all the way in the north, geared up to bring us the latest developments of the presidential election. Sindhujan, tell us, what is the situation like in Jaffna?
Yeah, good evening, Asra. Now I'm in Jaffna, so I have to say we are ready to give some more updates from Jaffna. You know, there are 2 electoral districts in northern province, which are Kilinochchi and Jaffna. So there are 11 electorals in Jaffna district. 4,75,176 voters who are eligible to vote. They are eligible to exercise their franchise for the 2019 presidential poll in the Jaffna district tomorrow. As a way, 89,538 voters who are eligible to vote in Kilinochchi district. Trifers and officials have been assigned an election duty. Vote counting center established on Central College in Jaffna. As a way, district returning officer in the Jaffna said 7,600 government officers and 2,000 police officers have been dispatched on to the maintain security. As a way, currently we have the peaceful manner in Jaffna and the surrounding area also. Ballot boxes were brought from the returning officer office to Delft and other islands through the way of boats. And the climate is also very supportive today. So we are ready to give latest and more updates about the 2019 presidential election from Jaffna. I'm Jurin Sundhujan for News First.
Thank you, Jurin. And we are hoping to see you once again on our first and fast election broadcast. Next we have Chanuka Pereira from Hambantota. Chanuka, tell us, what is the situation like in Hambantota? We are just a day away from the presidential election. What is it like?
Yes, Asra, the Hambantota district is really quiet and calm, and we are ready to report to you from here, and have to tell you that 1,500 police agents and 2,100 government employees are ready to do the elections tomorrow. So we are ready to report to you from here, first and fast.
Thank you, Chanuka. Let me remind you that we are using the Skype and the live digital transmission technology to connect live with our reporters outstation to bring you the first-hand experience of the 2019 presidential polls. We have more than 200 provincial reporters also everywhere in Sri Lanka to bring you the latest developments. Also, we will have a separate plan at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana, like Chaturanga mentioned before, to bring you the results, the accurate and the fast results of the presidential polls here in Sri Lanka. Now, next up, we have Muad Razik from Nuwara. Muad, you're all the way in the upcountry. Tell us about the situation in Nuwara.
So 569,000 people are set to vote for the presidential election in the Nuwara district. Now, so this is a very special district, as the Nuwara and Maskelia electorate has 325,000 registered voters, which is the highest number of registered voters in the island in an electorate. So this has we also have Hanguranketha and also Kotmale, the electoral division. So the current situation in Nuwara is very peaceful, and no violations have been reported right now. And also we are ready to bring first and fast results, details from the Nuwara district and the surrounding areas, as well as throughout the island. For the Newsfirst team, I am Muad Razik. Back to you, Azra.
This is a plan we have here at the election headquarters at News First, and not just in English, we will have our broadcast in all 3 languages across all our networks, be it Sirasa, be it Shakti or TV1, in English, Sinhalese and in Tamil, just to make sure that our viewers are informed about what's happening at the 2019 presidential polls. Now, with the News First plans we have here, you must be thinking of going to the polling station tomorrow so you can cast your vote right for the next president of Sri Lanka. But how do you use your vote right? Let's take a look. We all know that during the past years, the voting only took place until 4 in the evening. But this time, the National Election Commission has decided to extend by 1 hour so that the polls will start at 7 a.m. and will go until 5 p.m. only because of the long list of presidential candidates we have. So we spoke to the Commissioner of the National Election Commission, Chairman Mahinda Deshapriya. Let's listen to what he had to say.
ඔවුන් කොහොමද හැසිරිය යුත්තේ සෙන්සුරාදා දවසේ
අනික් අයටත් Tamanට තියෙන අයිතියම තියෙනයි කියලා හිතන්න.
They must understand and remember that the other person has the same right as you do. Therefore, do not try to influence or pressurize anyone. We witnessed how an individual burnt a family member's voting card. Do not engage in such activities. I have the same right as you do. If all voters remember this, we can hold a free and fair election on Saturday.
ඡන්දදායකයෝ අපට නිදහස් සාධාරණ ඡන්දේශයක් තියාගන්න පුළුවන්.
So what's your message to the voter?
Come to the polling booth as soon as possible. Don't wait till 3 p.m. on Saturday. Please come to the polling station at least before 2:30 and you will get the chance definitely to vote. Without any fear, you can vote. Come and vote. That is your right. No one can trace your vote. We will count your vote properly and issue the real results. Don't worry about that. Trust under the government service, state service. They are public service. They are the public servant. They will do their duty impartially. Don't worry about that. We don't have any. All our officers are impartial. They will do what they have given the code is instruction. They will conduct the poll. They will do the count properly and they will announce the results. The commission has to just endorse it only. Don't forget to bring your valid identity card, national identity card or passport or driving license or elder's identity card or the government pensioners identity card or the clergy identity card issued by the registration of persons department or our election commission a special identity.
When can I expect the first result?
Around postal vote results, I hope it will be sometime, maybe most probably. Normally the practice is Ratnapura. I think we will get in between 10 p.m. and 12 midnight.
That was Chairman of the National Election Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, with our very own News First, John Fernando. Now, the process of transporting ballot boxes and officials to their respective polling stations has been completed, and approximately 300,000 state officials will be on election duty. How is Sri Lanka preparing for the presidential polls tomorrow? Let's take a look.
The commercial capital of Colombo comprises of 15 electorates. The distribution of ballot boxes and ballot papers to the 1,175 polling stations in Colombo commenced this morning from Royal College and DS Senanayaka College in Colombo. Officers on election duty left the Colombo District Secretariat based in Narayanpitiya today.
After the polls end at 5 p.m., we will start to count the postal votes at 5:15 p.m. at Royal College, Colombo. Starting from 6 p.m. after the ballot boxes are delivered to the counting centres, we will start to count them. We hope to commence counting of votes at all counting centres by around 8 p.m.
The highest number of registered voters in this year's presidential election is reported from the Gampaha district. The distribution of ballot boxes and ballot papers to the 1,184 voting centres in the Gampaha district commenced from the Pattalagedara CNH National Science Faculty.
After voting hours end, sealed ballot boxes will be taken to 3 counting centres, and they are Naivala Technical Institute, Vidyaloka College and Pattalagedara College. The distribution of ballot boxes and ballot papers to the 8 electorates of the Kalutara district commenced this morning from the Kalutara Pasdunrata Education College.
Let's now take a look at how the north central and the southern provinces are getting ready for the presidential polls tomorrow.
Anuradhapura district, which belongs to the North Central province, consists of 7 electorates. Ballot boxes, ballot papers and officials were transported to the polling station from Anuradhapura Central College.
It's best if all voters could vote early during the morning hours.
The ballot boxes were transported from the Pulatisipura National Academy of Education to the polling centres in the Polonnaruwa district. The Polonnaruwa district consists of 3 electorates.
After voting hours end tomorrow, the votes will be counted in 36 counting centres.
Ballot boxes were transported this morning to 10 electorates of the Gaul district in the southern province from St. Aloysius College and the Technical College, Gaul. Meanwhile, the ballot boxes and officials were transported through the Madhu River to the Madhuva polling centre in Balapitiya.
In terms of security staff and equipment, we are prepared for the elections tomorrow.
Ballot boxes and ballot papers for the 7 electorates in the Mathura district were brought to the Sanat Jayasuriya grounds from the Sujata Vidyalaya in Mathura.
Citizens of this country are getting ready to cast their vote for the next president of Sri Lanka, including in the north and the east. Let's take a look.
The ballot boxes were dispatched and the officials were deployed from the Hindu College in Batticaloa today. The Batticaloa district in the eastern province consists of 3 electorates. The ballot boxes of 4 electorates in the Digamadula district were dispatched from the Hardy Technological Institute in Ampara.
හෙට දිනේ ඡන්දය පැවැත්වීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය කරන සියලුම බඩු බාහිරා ආපදා කළමනාකරණ ඒකකයක් විශේෂයෙන් අපි මේ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ පිහිටුවා තිබෙනවා. ඔවුන් සම්බන්ධීකරණය කරනවා වනාලීන්.
We are prepared for the election. We have also established a disaster management unit here. We have a team prepared to deal with various issues such as wild elephants.
The officials and ballot boxes required to carry out election duties of the 3 electorates in the Trincomalee district were deployed from Mihindipura Technical College.
After election hours end, we will first ensure all 306 ballot boxes are safely delivered to the counting centres. At around 4 p.m, we hope to start counting postal votes. At 7 p.m, we will start to count all the other votes.
සීල කටයුතු සංවිධානය කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම පස්වරු 7ට අපි අනිත් ඡන්ද ගණන් කරන්න සීල කටයුතු සංවිධානය කරලා.
The ballot boxes were dispatched to the one electorate from the Vavuniya District Secretariat office today. Ballot boxes were dispatched to Jaffna district from the Jaffna Madhya Mahavidyalaya. The ballot boxes were dispatched from Kites with the assistance of Sri Lanka Navy.
Let's now take a look at the election preparations in the northwestern, also in the central provinces.
Distribution of ballot boxes to polling stations in the Kurunegala district commenced this morning from Maliyadeva College and Sir John Kothalaval College in Kurunegala. Voters can exercise their votes between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Thereafter, once the voting has concluded, all ballot boxes will be transported to the three main centres, which are the Technical College, Sir John Kothalaval College and Maliyadeva College. There are 135 counting centres. Once counting has concluded, the district secretariat will be the hub which releases the results. The process of transporting ballot papers, ballot boxes and officers to the polling stations in the Puttalam district commenced from Fatima Balika Vidyalaya and St. Andrews Madhya Mahavidyalaya in Puttalam. 411 polling stations have been established within the 5 electorates in the Puttalam district. The distribution of ballot boxes to the polling stations in the Kandy district commenced this morning from the Polgolla-based National Cooperative Development Institute, Open University and the Mahavali National College of Education. All the officers who were assigned departed from the centre in Polgolla at around 10:30 this morning along with the ballot boxes, papers and other equipment. We will begin counting postal votes at 5:15 p.m. from the National Cooperative Development Institute in Polgolla. We are expecting to release postal vote results by 10:30 p.m. Ballot boxes for the Matale district were distributed this morning from the Christ Church College, Matale. Ballot boxes for the polling centres in the Nuwara district were issued from the Gamini National School in Nuwara. The Muskele electorate has the highest count of voters at this year's election, which stands at 325,030.
Ballot boxes have been transported to the respective polling stations and more than 300,000 state officials are on election duty tomorrow to ensure that the presidential polls run smoothly. Let's take a look at how Uva and Sabaragamu provinces got ready for the pollings tomorrow.
Ballot boxes were transported this morning to 9 electorates in the Badulla district from the Badulla Central College. Our correspondent in the Monoragala district, Nayana Kumara, spoke to the returning officer on the preparations made in the district.
There is a generally peaceful environment across the Monragala district. The returning officer informed me that over 1,900 police and police special task force personnel have been deployed to ensure security across the district. He also informed me that police patrols have been strengthened.
Ballot boxes were transported to polling centres in the Ratnapura district of the Sabaragamu province from the Ratnapura district secretariat office and the technical college. Ballot boxes were also transported to polling centres in the Kegol district from the Kegol College and the Swarna Jayanti College.
We have received the fullest cooperation from all officials who are involved in this process. Over 5,500 officials have been deployed here. 1,200 police and special task force personnel have been deployed across the district.
Police media spokesperson SSP Ruwan Gunasekara convened a media briefing today to inform the general public about the security measures that are in place for the election day tomorrow.
එක් ඡන්දපොලකට පොලිස් නිලධාරීන් දෙදෙනා බැගින් පොලිස් නිලධාරීන් ඡන්දපොල රාජකාරී සඳහා පමණක් 25000
There will be a minimum of 2 police officers deployed for each polling station. 25,712 officers have been deployed in total for duties at polling stations. 3,043 police patrols will also be deployed. We are also deploying 153 teams from the riot squad across the island. In addition to police officers, officers from the STF will also be deployed at counting centres. The STF will engage in patrol duties and will also be involved in riot policing if required.
පොලිස් විශේෂ කාර්ය බලකායෙන් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
Furthermore, police media spokesperson also stated that the voters, candidates and supporter parties should be made aware of the following.
ජනාධිපතිවරණයේ ප්‍රතිඵල ප්‍රකාශයට පත් වෙලත් සතියක් ගතවනතුරු මේ නිහඬ කාලය බලාත්මකව පැවැත්වෙනවා.
Up until a week after the final results are announced, this silence period will be in effect. We still see posters on personal vehicles. Such posters can only be pasted on vehicles that the candidate travels in under the terms and conditions. Other than that, no posters or slogans which promote a candidate can be displayed on vehicles. We advise to take actions to remove them immediately. No person can canvass for votes within a 500 meters radius from polling stations. No person can request or force another individual to vote or not vote for a certain party or candidate. Even beyond this radius, no undue influencing can be done. Gatherings are also prohibited within a 500-meter radius of the polling stations.
බලපෑම් කිරීම කියන කාරණය එලෙසම අදාළ වෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම සඳහන් කරනවා නම් මේ මීටර් 500 සීමාව තුල එක්රැස් වී සිටීමත් වරදක් වෙනවා. යම් යම් ව්‍යතිරේක අවස්ථා කිහිපයකට යටත්ව ඡන්ද පොළ වෙත ඡන්දදායකයන් ප්‍රවාහනය කිරීමත් ඡන්ද පොලේ
The organized transportation of voters to and from polling stations is prohibited subject to certain exceptions. These exceptions include the use of licensed public transport, families travelling in family car or vehicle, and vehicles being used to transport persons with disabilities. The scattering of small cards containing candidate symbols, the drawing of campaign material on roads and other such propaganda material is prohibited. If you are arrested while engaging in such activity, your destinations tomorrow will be the police station and the court.
අවස්ථාවකදී ඔබ අත්අඩංගුවට පත් වුණොත් එහෙම හෙට ඔබට පොලිසිය සහ උසාවිය තමයි ඉන්න වෙන්නේ.
Citizens of this country will elect the 7th executive president of Sri Lanka tomorrow. And we here at Newsfirst, we here at Newsfirst at the election headquarters, also at the Science Studios in Ratmalana, are ready to bring you the latest and the accurate information of the election, presidential election tomorrow. And we have our in-house reporters in several parts of the country and also more than 200 provincial reporters everywhere in Sri Lanka to bring you the latest updates. Also, we will be joining the Skype, also the live digital transmission technology to connect our reporters outstation live, just so our viewers can have the live experience and the first-hand experience of the presidential polls tomorrow. That's it from the election headquarters here. It's back to the studio. Bernadine.
Thank you, Azra. The National Building Research Organization said the number of particulates within the atmosphere of Colombo has declined once again. The MBRO added steps have been taken to monitor the atmosphere of another 10 districts.
The air pollution index generally ranged between 60 and 70. The index increased during the past few days due to high pollution conditions in the Indian peninsula, wind patterns towards Sri Lanka, stagnant and low depression of air pollutants generated by vehicles, thermal power plants, industries and commercial activities within the country. Between 6 and 7 a.m. this morning, the air pollution index in Colombo stood at 125 and had declined to 80 between 7 and 8 a.m. today. The National Building Research Organization said the air pollution index in Colombo had dropped to 73 between 9 and 10 a.m. today.
If the air pollution index increases suddenly, we take steps to monitor the atmosphere every hour. We inform the general public in this regard whenever possible. In such instances, the locals residing in the respective areas must evacuate. They must use masks and minimize exposure. They must also obtain medical advice if required.
Senior scientist Sarath Premisri added that the NBRO has taken steps to install devices to monitor and obtain atmospheric data in Anuradhapura, Jaffna, Vavuniya and Puttlam.
In some tragic news from here at home, 2 people sustained injuries when a lorry had toppled in Udubadana along the Valimada Bogahakumbura main road.
The lorry had been travelling from Uvaparanagama to Bogahakumbura. Police said that the lorry had toppled due to a malfunction that had occurred. The injured are residents of Uvaparanagama. Police further stated that the injured too are being treated at the Valimada hospital. Further investigations are to be carried out by the Valimada police. One person died after being electrocuted near the Belgaha Canal. Police said that the man had been electrocuted when he got entangled onto a high-voltage electric cord. The deceased is a 39-year-old resident of Millava. Further investigations are carried out on this matter.
Locals in several areas including Galimbiduruweva, Minipe, Navagategama and Kakirawa are facing severe difficulties due to the human-elephant conflict. A correspondent visited locals in several areas today.
The locals of several villages including Galenbinduruweva, Puliyankulama, Vannamkulam, Mannankattiya staged the protest hampering traffic flow along the Galenbinduruweva Kakirawa main road. The protest was staged opposite the Moragoda Wildlife Department. Our correspondent said the Galenbinduruweva police arrived at the scene and controlled the situation. Locals claim wild elephants residing in the Seruweva, Ritigala and Mannankattiya forest reserves destroy their villages and crops. We can't leave the house after 4 in the evening. Our children cannot go to school. There are elephants on the road every day. These elephants have already destroyed thousands of acres of paddy lands and crops.
We have taken loans for farming, but we don't earn any profits. There are elephants by 5 in the evening. All we need is an elephant fence.
Despite farming being their main income generator, these locals are deprived from earning any income due to the ongoing human-elephant conflict. We have been facing the same issue. We have always faced difficulties and no one solves them.
Oman beat Sri Lanka by 4 wickets in yesterday's match in the Emerging Teams Asia Cup tournament. The Oman Emerging Team is coached by Sri Lankan cricket legend WRESTLED Mendes. Speaking exclusively to Sports First, Mendes had this to say.
I felt a deep sorrow within me when Sri Lanka was defeated yesterday, mainly because I was the captain of the Sri Lanka team at one point. When such a team is defeated, you feel disappointed. But professionally, at the moment, I am coaching the Oman team. The Oman team defeating Sri Lanka is a great feat. It should be commended. This is the road we are on. When I took up the duties, the Oman team was in the 5th division. They had been a Division 5 team for 5 to 6 years. Recently, we received ODI status. We have been playing very well and we qualified for the T20 World Cup last month. We are currently playing in the ACC Emerging Asia Cup. We rested our 3 main players, the captain, vice-captain and our main strike bowler. We are here with the rest of the team. The captain of this team is also a new player. I'm very happy with the way this emerging team has played. We need to play many T20 fixtures ahead of the World Cup in Australia, but our schedule is fully of 50-over matches. However, the more matches we win, the more our confidence builds. This team came here on the back of the confidence they gained while playing in the World T20 qualifiers in the UAE. They have now played well here too. I think we can forge ahead on this path. Against the current backdrop, I'm not sure if I will return to Sri Lanka. It will take me a few years to complete the job that I have started in Oman. I'm responsible for the development of cricketers across Oman. I have been trying my best to accomplish this for the past 5 to 6 years. I have tested many strategies in Oman and that is how we have managed to achieve our current level. It will take me some time to complete the job. I will continue to do my best to advance cricket in Oman and to raise the profile of the team.
Let's now take a look at your sports roundup for tonight.
Cristiano Ronaldo took his tally to 98 international goals as his hat-trick against Lithuania moved Portugal to within one win of a place at Euro 2020. The 34-year-old Juventus forward could become only the second man to reach 100 international goals if he scores twice against Luxembourg on Sunday. The Portugal captain scored an early penalty before curling in a second. PZ and Goncola Paciencia and Manchester City's Bernardo Silva scored before the latter set up Ronaldo for his third. Ronaldo's ninth Portugal hat-trick, with 7 of those coming since his 30th birthday, takes him to within 11 goals of Iran legend Ali Day's world record 109. This is his joint most goals in a calendar year for Portugal, with 13 coming in his past 7 caps, matching his 2016 total. Cleveland Browns player Myles Garrett is facing a lengthy ban for a totally inexcusable attack on Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph. With 8 seconds left, Garrett, age 23, wrestled Rudolph to the ground after he had released the ball, ripped off his helmet and swung it at his head. A brawl erupted and defensive end Garrett was ejected from the game. Pittsburgh's Maurkice Pouncey, who was also ejected, said Garrett could have killed Rudolph. Roger Federer moved into the ATP Finals last 4 at the expense of Novak Djokovic with a scintillating win over his great rival at the O2 Arena. Swiss third seed Federer, aged 38, won 6-4, 6-3 in a round-robin match which eliminates the Serb second seed from the season-ending tournament in London. Federer will meet top seed Rafael Nadal or Stefanos Tsitsipas in the last 4. Djokovic's defeat also means Spain's Nadal is guaranteed to finish as the year-end world number 1. Nadal, aged 33, is far from certain of reaching the last 4 himself, needing victory over Greek 6th seed Tsitsipas. However, if German 7th seed Alexander Zverev beats the Russian 4th seed Daniil Medvedev, then Nadal is out regardless of his result. If results go his way, then Nadal will top the Andre Agassi group and face Federer, who has finished second behind Australian 5th seed Dominic Thiem in the John Borg group in tomorrow's semi-final. Meanwhile, England forward Raheem Sterling says it was wrong for fans to boo Joe Gomez when he came on as a substitute in yesterday's 7-0 Euro 2020 qualifier win against Montenegro at Wembley. Manchester City's Sterling was dropped for the game after he clashed with Liverpool defender Gomez on Monday.
With that, we wrap up Primetime News. I'm Bernadine Jayasinghe.
And I'm Jayamal Ratnaik for the Newsfirst team. Take care and good night.
Good night.